What is going on, everyone? Misha Wilson here. Let me know what your name is and where you're coming in from as you hop on here today on this little Facebook Live. I have a kind of analogy I want to share with you, a business lesson that I want to share with you that if you truly get and truly understand, will help you to shortcut your path to success that much more quickly and help you to focus on the things that are actually going to help you get to that next level. So give me a like, comment, heart, share. If you're, of course, on here with me, I'll give you a quick little panoramic view of where I'm going ahead and working out tonight. This is the Wailea Tennis Club. This is where I used to work out nonstop as a junior. This is actually my favorite court. My favorite shot to hit was right over there in that corner of the court, hitting the ball from there over to out here on the other side of the court, inside out forehand. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing a little home workout, not home workout. My house is right up there. You guys probably seen it from the other lives, but doing a little workout here, doing some jumps. I've been jumping up and down this thing and doing squat jumps for the last hour or so. And I was just kind of thinking about my physical fitness, thinking about stuff that's been going on with my physical fitness for the last, year and a half, 2 years or so. And noticed an error in my thinking that really caused me to spend money, caused me to be frustrated, caused me to, spend time on trying to solve something that was never there to actually be solved in the first place. So I actually had a lower back injury when I was playing tennis out here when I was maybe 16 or 17. And because of that, my lower back is always kind of funky. It's not quite perfect. I can never really go heavy on squats, never go heavy on deadlift, and I can never really max out on those different exercises. But for the better part of the last year and a half or so, and you guys will get how this is actually a business lesson here in a little bit, but for the better part of the last year and a half, 2 years, I've been really feeling like my lower back is totally screwed up. And my lower back has just been aching, and I've been having that kind of feeling where it's like, God, you wake up and it hurts, and you go to bed and it hurts, and you work out and it hurts, and you can't get away from that hurt. And it's not a hurt like, I worked out really hard so my biceps sore, I worked out really hard so my calves are sore, or I'm cramping because I worked out really hard. It's not that kind of hurt. It's like a hurt that shouldn't quite be there because something's not right. And so for the longest time, I spent so much time searching different beds, right? What's the best bed for lower back support? I looked at the Sleep Number. I looked at the Nova Foam mattresses. I ended up buying the purple mattress just because I'm a marketer. And out of all the various ads, they had the best ad. And so I fell for really my own Kool-Aid, my own medicine. I ended up falling prey for. They had an amazing offer. Learn it. Look at their actual offer, reverse engineer it. They'll send it out to your house. You can try it for 90 days. If you don't like it, they'll actually pay for the shipping when it comes back. They won't charge you for anything. An irresistible offer, a lesson in of itself. But I kept trying to go ahead and, figure out why my lower back was hurting. I, stopped doing any kind of squats for a long time. I stopped doing any kind of deadlifts for a long time. I lost strength in my legs. I stopped doing, the really kind of essential exercises that you have to do in order to go ahead and strengthen your legs. I, bought a $1,000 bed trying to make it better. My back still hurt. I was thinking, God, I'm just sitting down too much, which probably is true. Sitting down 12, 14 hours a day, trying to build your business, not the best for your lower back, but still, it wasn't getting solved when I would put in place these different exercises where, every 45 minutes, every half hour, I'd get up, I'd, walk around the house, I'd do a couple jumping jacks, I'd stretch. I thought it was the stupidest thing ever because I'd totally lose focus, I'd totally lose concentration on what I was doing, but my lower back was just freaking killing me. And for the better part of a year and a half, I was trying everything I could possibly think of in order to go ahead and help my lower back. And I was trying all these different solutions and nothing was fucking working to save my life. And it was killing me because the more and more I tried and I didn't succeed, the more frustrated I got. And the more frustrated I got, the more I wanted to come to the solution. We all go down that path where you keep working harder and it becomes the sunk cost bias, right? You keep working on something so long that isn't productive, but because you've been in it for so long, you keep trying just because you've been in it for so long, right? And the one thing that I wasn't working, the one thing that I wasn't doing, looking back, and give me some likes, comments, hearts, shares. Keisha, Billy, how are you? Yeah, Keisha, I bought a standing desk, 100%. Kershana, how are you? Bought a standing desk, still didn't do it. Minnie, how are you? Billy, how are you? Good to see all of you guys. But anyway, I realized that the one part of my workout routine that was really lacking, You know, I had been working out my shoulders all the time. I'd been working out my arms all the time. I had been benching every single week. I had been doing, you know, all the back exercises every single week. I had been doing leg exercises for the most part every single week. But I realized the one thing that was missing was my abs, right? I have this kind of thought process where I'm never gonna have six-pack abs because I'm not dedicated enough to the diet. I'm not dedicated enough to not eating carbs, you know, enough really to get to a point where I have any real definition in my abs. And so why even work on them at all? I'll try to build up everything around. It's a retarded thought process, I know, but I'll try to build up everything around my abs, so my shoulders and my chest and my back and all that. And people will just kind of, you know, not notice the fact that I don't have a super strong core, that I don't have a super strong abdominal section. And so what I realized is that after the better part of a year and a half of trying to solve this problem with my lower back, I got to a point where even unconsciously, I wasn't thinking I need to do abs in order to go ahead and, you know, help my lower back. I need to do core in order to help my lower back. I need to strengthen this area of some of this area will have less stress on it, right? I wasn't thinking like that. I was just thinking like, holy shit, I have been slacking so much on my abs. And it's getting to the point where I'm laughing, and I'm laughing really hard, and I'm feeling cramps in my abs. It wasn't really that bad. That's a joke, right, at my own expense. But still, it was getting to a point where I was like, God, I need to get in the gym, and I need to do a freaking core exercise, or I'm going to start thinking of myself as a fat guy. And so I just kind of unconsciously started working on my abs. Consciously started working on my abs, but unconsciously came to the solution. And so I started working on my abs. I started doing 15 minutes, you know, per workout, then, you know, 30 minutes per workout. Then, you know, now once per week, I just do abs for about an hour-long period, 45-minute to an hour-long period. And slowly but surely, what do you know? From going from doing, you know, 50 sit-ups to 150 sit-ups to 300 sit-ups, you know, from planks to 30 seconds to 3 minutes, my abs have been getting stronger. My core has been getting stronger, right? That section of my body has been getting stronger. And what do you know? My lower back has stopped hurting. My lower back pain has gone away. That constant ache, you know, every now and then I have a twinge type of pain, but that's just expected when you've played tennis and when you've worked out, when you've kind of, you know, dedicated yourself to a sport and a physical lifestyle your entire life. Every now and then I have a twinge kind of pain, but not that constant ache. And what do you know? It was because I started working out my abs. It was because I actually consciously started to work out my abs, which ended up giving my back more support. It ended up taking stress off of my back. It ended up taking stress off of my lower back by strengthening this portion of my body. And really unconsciously, I ended up solving a problem that drove me nuts for a long period of time, that took away from the quality of my life for a long period of time, and which really, to be honest, just bummed me out for a long period of time, because I love feeling healthy, I love feeling physically fit, I love feeling all of those things, and if I don't, it kind of gets me into a negative headspace, right? And I see so many people make that same mistake for their business. I see so many people make that mistake when it comes to their marketing. I see so many people focus on the problem that isn't, put all of their effort into the problem that isn't, only to figure out and solve that problem, but not get any closer to going ahead and achieving their goals. Only to go ahead and spend a year of their life trying to, you know, get their email open rates higher, which is awesome. Try to get your email open rates higher. But if that isn't the problem, it's not going to do anything when you actually solve that problem, right? And Keith Cunningham, me and Fernie had a live today. Go check it out if you're in the Super Affiliate Network. It's in the private Facebook group. Me and Fernie had a Facebook Live, and we talked about Keith Cunningham, the real rich dad. Give me some likes, comments, hearts, shares if you guys got value out of that actual post with Fernie. But on that post, we talked about Keith Cunningham. And Keith, one of his things that he talks about and he preaches about over and over and over again, he talks about the fact that what he spends the most time on in his business, what he spends the most effort and mental energy on in his business, because he talks about business being an intellectual sport, right? You have to take time, critical thinking, to actually identify what's wrong in your business before you can actually come up with a solution in order to get closer to your goal, all right? And usually there's this place you want to be, and there's this place where you are, and we usually come up with a bunch of different problems that we think if we solve will get us closer to our actual goal. But the truth is that most of those things that we come up with without really digging in, most of those things that we come up with without really putting some time and thought and effort and energy into actually identifying the problem, are simply symptoms of the actual problem. They're symptom level, fix this, but you still don't get closer to your goal. There's symptoms of the actual cause, and if you can get to the actual cause, and if you can solve the actual cause, you can forget about all of these things. All right. So as an example with this analogy, I ended up, strengthening my core muscles. And now that I've strengthened my core muscles, my bed's fine, right? Now that I've strengthened my core muscles, yeah, I don't really need the standing desk. I have the standing desk, but I haven't been using it that much. I should use it more, but I don't need that surface level, symptom level solution, right? Now that my core's better, I can work out a little bit harder. I can do squats, I can do deadlifts, I can go ahead and execute upon those exercises because I have a stronger core that's stabilizing, that's taking pressure off of my lower back. Hence, I have less lower back pain, right? And so, again, in your business, you have to find this constraint. You have to find the thing in the system. You have to find the error in the system. You have to find the thing that's holding everything else back. Terry Lamb shared it on the first virtual summit session. Terry's, had an awesome interview, and he said the question he asks himself constantly, and I learned this from Tim Ferriss before Terry, was he focused on what's the one thing that if I solve this one thing, everything else becomes easier. Everything else, takes care of itself, and everything else really kind of goes away, right? And that's the time you have to spend, the thought process, the critical thinking, the getting out of action mode. Keisha, you're on here. I know Keisha's a go-getter. Keisha goes hard all the time. And Facebook Live, webinar, team calls, all of that. You have to do that. And I do that too, Keisha, so it's not an accusation. You know that, I love you. But what happens is when you're in that, sometimes you get stuck in being in it. And you get stuck in the forest so you can't see the trees. You get stuck in the activity so you can't see the thing that's gonna help you make progress. You get stuck in the action so you don't see the thing that, if you execute upon, will make your life 10 times more easy. And again, just like with my lower back, just like with my, lack of abs, for lack of a better term, just like with my little flabby midsection there for a little while, the truth is that most people spend way too much time focusing on the problem that isn't. Most people spend way too much time focusing on the solution that isn't actually the solution, and all they do is they focus on really addressing symptom level problems that even when they actually fix, they don't get any closer to their goals, they don't get any closer to living the lifestyle they want, and they don't get any closer to going ahead and achieving what they want in their business, because again, activity does not equal progress. Don't get confused for progress by taking massive action within your actual, small kind of low leverage activities. Focus on the vital few, focus on the actual problem, focus on identifying the actual problem. If I would have done it a year and a half ago, if I would have done it 2 years ago, I would have spent, a year feeling less pain. I would have felt a year feeling less frustrated. I would have felt a year that was really fun growing my business in a state where I felt healthy physically as well. And my quality of life would have been that much better. And I probably would have made more progress in my business, because as a byproduct of feeling unhealthy, as a byproduct of having my lower back hurt, as a byproduct of having, just frustration on a daily basis, I was probably a little bit less productive. I was probably a little bit less effective. And I was probably a little bit less efficient in my day-to-day operations of my business. So that's my long-winded story for you here today. But I think the story proves and shows a perfect point. And if you take it to heart, if you live by it, if you get out of the activity sometimes and spend some time identifying the actual problem that is versus the problem that isn't, when you take action on the actual problem that is, when you take action on solving the actual problem that is, all of these little things, all of these things that are frustrating you now, all of these little solutions that you think you have to focus on, all of those little things that are driving you nuts right now will just kind of disappear, and your life will be that much better. And again, it'll be that much more fun. So that's my message for you here tonight. Give me some likes, comments, hearts, shares, all that jazz. I can't see your comments as of right now. Let me go ahead and try to turn this on. That's not it. No. Keisha, how are you? Minnie, Tony, good to see all of you guys. I can't see your comments at the moment, but I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll give you one more little panoramic view here of the Wailea sunset. God, this court brings back memories from my childhood. Good 4.5 or 5 hours per day, probably, when I was playing the most. Spent right on this court, jumping up and down those stairs, running up and down this staircase that goes all the way up here for training's sake, and working at that restaurant right there. Holy shit, blast from the past, right? But pretty interesting that I live here right now. So with that said, appreciate all you guys. Hope you got some value. Give me some likes, comments, hearts, shares if you did. I got 2 more sets left here, and appreciate all you guys. All right, later.